You ever look at a pond and see that layer of stuff on the surface? Well, imagine that, but on a massive, industrial scale. That's the hidden world of scum, and today we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredibly clever engineering designed to deal with it.
It's a really simple question, right? But the answer is this fascinating story of mechanical problem solving. Because if we don't deal with that gunk, our water systems would literally grind to a halt. The environmental fallout? It would be huge. So let's get into it. What exactly is this stuff we're fighting?
Well, scum isn't just one thing. It's this messy cocktail of all the floatable stuff you can possibly imagine. We're talking grease and oils from kitchens, tiny bits of plastic, hair, soaps, even things like leaves and rags. Basically, it's everything that gets into our wastewater and just refuses to sink.
And here's why this matters so much. We absolutely cannot just ignore it. If this gunk builds up, it clogs up precious equipment, it creates some truly terrible odors, and, this is the big one, it can escape the treatment plant and pollute our rivers and lakes. So getting rid of it isn't just a good idea, it's an essential part of the whole process.
So how do you even begin to tackle this floating mess? Well, there's no magic wand. Instead, engineers have developed this specialized toolkit, a really smart three-part system designed to trap, collect, and then remove scum with almost surgical precision. Let's break down the tools of the trade.
The first tool in the kit is the scum baffle. Honestly, the best way to think of it is like a bouncer at a club. It's just a wall or a barrier that sits right at the water's surface, and its only job is to be the gatekeeper, physically blocking any of that floating material from getting past. Super simple, but incredibly effective.
Okay, so the scum is trapped by the baffle. Now what? You gotta collect it, right? And that's where the skimmer arm comes in. This is a big mechanical blade that just sweeps right across the surface of the water, methodically pushing all that trapped gunk toward one single spot so it can be removed. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the exit point. This is the scum trough or box. After that skimmer arm has done its sweeping, all the scum gets pushed into this special basin. From there, it's funneled out of the tank and sent off for disposal. So you see? Trap, collect, remove. A simple but brilliant three-part system.
Now, what's really cool is seeing how this toolkit gets used in different kinds of tanks. So first up, let's look at the really elegant solution they use in circular treatment tanks, which are also called clarifiers.
In a round tank, that skimmer arm rotates around and around, kind of like the hand of a clock. As it moves, it sweeps the surface and pushes the scum up this little ramp. Get this, they sometimes call it a scum beach. The scum then just tumbles over the top into the collection box, and from there, it's usually flushed away automatically. It's this constant, steady, circular dance of machinery.
But hang on, you might be thinking, what stops the skimmer from just pushing the scum around in circles forever? That's a great question, and the answer is a really clever engineering fix. They install these stationary baffles. They don't move. They just sit there, blocking the path and making sure the scum gets directed right up that ramp instead of just going for a merry-go-round ride. It's a small detail that makes a huge difference.
All right, let's switch gears. What if your tank isn't a circle, but a big rectangle? The goal is exactly the same, get the gunk out, but the approach has to be completely different to match the shape.
In rectangular tanks, you usually have this system of chains that drag big paddles or flights through the water. On their return trip, as they come back near the surface, those flights act like one giant skimmer blade, just pushing all the floating material in a straight line, all the way to one end. There, it gets dumped into a special trough that often rotates to get rid of the scum.
And just to prove there's always more than one way to solve a problem, here's another cool method they use in rectangular tanks, the helical skimmer. Just picture a giant corkscrew, or an auger, rotating on the surface. Its spiral blades are constantly pushing the scum up a ramp and into a channel. Pretty neat, right?
So let's just quickly put these two side by side. Your circular clarifier has that revolving arm, which means the skimming is continuous and rotational. The rectangular one, on the other hand, typically uses that chain and flight system for a linear back and forth push, which can be more intermittent. Two different shapes, two very different but very smart solutions to the exact same problem.
So it really seems like a perfectly solved engineering problem, doesn't it? We've got the tools, we've got these clever designs, but here's the twist. The mechanical solution, that's only half the battle. The reality on the ground is way more demanding. Because these systems, they don't just run themselves, not by a long shot. Keeping them working effectively is a constant, hands-on job. It takes daily attention and a lot of troubleshooting. This is where the real fight against pollution happens.
For starters, just look at how often they have to run. Those circular tanks, they're usually skimming all the time, 24/7. But the rectangular systems need to be run at least once a day and even more often when it gets warm, because heat actually changes how well the grease floats. You see, consistency is everything.
And the operators, they face a whole bunch of other challenges. Super hot weather can make grease stay suspended down in the water, which makes it way harder to skim off the top. The equipment itself has to be cleaned constantly to stop it from creating those awful odors. And, of course, once you've collected all that scum, you still have to pump it and get it to a proper disposal facility. It is a relentless, never-ending cycle.
So next time you turn on a faucet, maybe just for a second, think about this invisible world of baffles and skimmers. It's a powerful reminder that all the conveniences of our modern life are built on this hidden foundation of complex, hardworking systems. And it's the quiet, never-ending work of these systems and the people who run them that truly stands between us and a much more polluted world.